Hello everyone. Hello everybody. We are going to be doing some chess streaming today. I got my main dog Bowser here. Um, yeah, so hopefully everybody had a good Thursday. We're going to be streaming 15-minute rapid game here. Um, and hopefully there aren't any mouse slips and I play reasonably so we have a good game to analyze, and hopefully my opponents play reasonably so we have some things to discuss. Once again, if you'd excuse me, I'm a little bit stuffed up. I'm getting over being sick. I was actually just watching this Roman Harzvi just a little bit. He was playing a 5-minute game, which isn't all that exciting, but he's kind of all over the place. He's kind of like he's very eccentric and very animated when he plays. Wow, that was fast. So this guy has a pretty high rating too. That's cool. So hopefully this guy will give us a good game. Hopefully I play well. He's playing this boring ass shit. He wants to play like the London system, which is fine. But you know, it's just not very exciting. Generally, yeah. I mean, here's what he's gonna do. I'll just tell you right now. He's gonna play knight bd2. He's gonna play c3, maybe c4 if he actually knows what the hell he's doing. But he'll just play these moves, and he'll play castles, and he'll go to e5, and he'll just do all this stuff and try to attack my king side, and it'll just be a game. And oh wow, he played c4. That's interesting. A lot of times these guys will just play c3 immediately, just kind of snap that off, and I think c4 is probably a little bit more enterprising here. I wonder if I can play b5 here though, because I want to play the Benko. So if I play b5, he takes. I play a6. So let's go d6 first, and then if he goes knight c3. Oh, interesting. So now b5 is like really interesting. b5 takes, a6 takes with the bishop, and then he takes. I take with the knight. I don't know. b5 is really cool. I really like these kinds of positions where I gambit a pawn. He could take on c5 though, which isn't really thrilling. But maybe I'll take on c4. Bishop c4. dc5. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Let's just go for it. Let's just have a little fun today. Wow. He blasted that one off. Bishop b2 immediately. I mean, it makes sense. Getting the bishop on this b2 square is very advantageous for white in these kinds of positions. He's generally pretty happy with that. I wonder if I just take on c4 here. Yeah, I mean, I think having the open b file is helpful to me. It's a good question to what to do now, though. d5 is kind of interesting, which would lock his bishop behind his pawns here, which is probably wouldn't be too thrilled about that. I also have the e4 square, which I like, but like d5, I could also just go knight c6 here, or maybe I want to play bishop g4. This is interesting. I have to take a thought here. Bishop g4, h3. I don't really want to trade off this bishop for this knight. Well, bishop g4, knight bd2 as well. And again, I don't want to trade off the bishop for the knight. I like the bishop on b7, but he's going to play d5 then. Knight bd7 I think might be the best move in this position. Although knight c6 is good too. Knight c6 is kind of interesting. Knight c6, d5, and then I'm not sure what I'm doing. Let's just play some natural moves here. Well, what am I going to do with this bishop, though? I could put it on b7. He's played really quickly here. Yeah, let's do this. And then my idea here is that I'll take the c5 pawn with the knight, maybe? Sure. That's very reasonable. I can go bishop b7 now, though. And I want to control this e4 square. This is important to my my plan here. Sure. He's playing really quickly. But he's playing natural moves. I mean, these moves aren't really all that difficult to find, frankly. He's not doing anything earth-shattering here. What if I take and then go d5? I'm thinking knight e4 here might be interesting, too. Knight e4. He's only used 14 minutes and 30. He's only used 30 seconds. Jeez. We got to be careful here because he's just playing a lot faster than we are. Rook c8 is interesting as well. Sure, I'll bite. I'll go rook c8. Sure, knight c5. And again, we just want to control this e4 square. I think the control of the e4 square is going to... I mean, he's opened up this bishop, which is really good for him. Because I would prefer not to trade off my bishop for his bishop, because I think I like my bishop better. I'm happy with my bishop. I don't think he's as happy with his bishop. His bishop is very strong, though. He's a very good piece. Oh, finally, it takes a fucking half a second to think about stuff. I wonder who this guy is. I wonder if we've played before. Interesting. So anyways, alright, so I want to put this knight on e4, but right now my knight's pretty good on c5 because it controls d3 as well. If I go d5, e5, e4 is also kind of interesting here too. And just get like a big pawn center, a big pong center. Yeah, a big pawn center. Queen a5 is intriguing. a5 is kind of interesting to keep my knight on c5 and just kind of bolster it and just leave it there forever. I don't think a5 is necessary just yet, though. Bishop f3, knight f3. I need to develop my pieces. Queen a5, and then maybe knight e4, provided that he doesn't go bishop c3. Oh, bishop c3, queen a2. Rook a1, and then I probably lose my queen. And by probably, I mean I definitely lose my queen. So we're not going to do that. That would be bad. I wonder if, so d5... time is going to be an issue in this game, I can already tell. I haven't really played very rapidly here. Queen b6 is very interesting too, actually. He's always got this nagging bishop d4 move, though. But let's try queen b6. And again, we're just going to try to develop the pieces here and not do anything too crazy. Yeah. So hopefully this is coming through the stream. I really fucking hope so, because it would be very annoying if it wasn't. This is interesting. So I want to go e5 here. He'll take and I'll take with the rook, maybe. Oh, that's interesting. It's going to give me a backwards pawn, but I think I'll be able to dissolve that without too much trouble. This move knight g5 is going to be annoying, though, to meet later on in the game. Aha. I wonder if, so I guess he wanted to maybe try and provoke this move e5. I'm not sure how good that is for him, frankly. I can go d5 here. I think h6 might be a bit more prudent, though. I don't really like his position. I don't think his position... I think he's slowly getting himself squeezed out of this game if he isn't careful. Alright, I can go knight e6 here. I also have knight a4. That's kind of interesting. Knight a4, bishop a1, knight c3, knight a4, ba4, queen b2, rook b1, rook b1, and then what happens? I lose a bishop, maybe, right? Is that what happens? Alright, let's go bishop a8 then. In lieu of that, bishop a6 is interesting too. No, let's keep the bishop. Aha. Alright, so he is on my pawn twice. But he probably shouldn't take it, just in lieu of the fact that I can go... Dios mio. Alright, we might lose a pawn here. This is getting bad. Okay, queen b8. Queen d6. Knight a4. Bishop e5. We're losing a bunch of stuff here. Shit. Go lay down, buddy. Alright, so gotta be careful here. I don't want to go to b7 because he'll play a d6, and that'll just lose a piece. Alright, let's go queen b8. Hopefully I haven't screwed this up too much. Rook fd1 is kind of interesting. No, let's not do that, actually. e4 is probably the only move here. Well, bishop f3. Actually, check this out. Bishop f3, queen d6. This is interesting. So, queen d6, knight d6. Shit. Bummer. Alright, let's take here. That's step one. Gotta pet the dog, otherwise he starts getting ornery. The people start revolting. Sure. Yeah, this is kind of what we wanted, actually. I think we're actually kind of happy in this position, believe it or not. And he has spent next to no time, which leads me to believe that I'm probably doing the right thing here. Really? You're gonna let me get away with that, huh? Knight here, bishop takes, knight a2, bishop a7. I could also just go knight e5 here. Knight e5, knight e5, knight d5. Nope, that doesn't work. Knight e... Boop, 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 boop. Screw it. Let's just go for it. I could also go knight b3 here. Is that good? I don't think it is. I think he's got the bishop pair too to boot. That's not good. Yeah, I've really blown this, guys. Alright. Yeah, this is gross. Okay, sure. Let's do this. And I'll just go back to c3. Sure. Ugh. Ugh. Alright, that's good enough. And then I'll go back to b5. I need to play a lot faster here, though. I'm not really playing all that quickly here, all that rapidly. It's kind of a bummer. I hope that this goddamn stream is working. Sure. Knight b5 I think is probably the best move here. Yes, we take your knight, or your bishop rather. Rook b8, threaten some of his stuff. I would expect him to go rook b1, and then I'm going to go knight d7. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'll just play kind of quickly here. Hope he makes some kind of mistakes here. Alright, so if I go knight c3, b4, bishop c3 first. You play knight c5 on the next turn. Interesting. Knight c5. You shouldn't be able to take this piece, or to play d7 here. But rook c1 is what I'm worried about here. Well, am I worried about that? Because I have rook b3. Okay. Gotta set up a blockade here. Blockades are very important when they have passed pawns like this. This position is very dangerous for me, though. I probably shouldn't win this game. I'm probably losing here. I mean, I'm not probably losing. I'm almost certainly losing. But knight e4. Sure, I don't know how he defends this. I hope he moves his knight away so I can play knight d2 check. That would make my fucking day. This guy seems really arrogant. He's playing really quickly. Sure. That's all well and good. I want to get the D file here. That's important. Sure. Or the second rank thing. Interesting. Let's make him play some defense here. Good. That's what we wanted him to do. Sure. I wonder if he'd take a draw here. He shouldn't. I probably shouldn't even bother offering it or thinking about it. Yeah, king e7. Why not? Interesting. Oh, wow. That's a mistake. He should leave the bishop on c4 and take with the king. Because now my f-pawn breaks. I can try to trade everything off. I only have a minute and 50 seconds here, though, which sort of sucks. It's pretty aggravating. Just put all the pawns on dark squares. Hope for the best. I'm going to make a draw offer here. course he doesn't accept it. Just keep making the draw offer. Interesting. Take. King here. I don't need to do anything, actually. I can just let him take here. Sure, if you're going to be a prick about it, that's fine. So given more time, this should be a draw, but I don't know. I don't see how I screw this up, really. But I also know that it's very possible with this amount of time to screw this up. So just keep making a draw offer. Keep hoping for the best. Okay, yeah, so this is just a draw. He can't make any progress as long as I keep my king here. Between these couple squares, like e1. I mean, he can't force me off, essentially. He made a lot of mistakes there, trying to, like, he was too hasty. I think he kind of saw my time. We can analyze this, but he probably saw my time and was like, oh, this guy must be a scrub or something. But I was able to hold, which is nice. That's pleasant. I wonder what the heck. Am I streaming? I should be streaming. Well, anyway, let's examine the game real quick. I wonder what is going on here. Maybe do I need to refresh? Uh-oh, it said we were unable to connect. That's 8 different kinds of disappointment. Okay, but we'll analyze this real quick while I'm here. It could just be me. It could just be that I'm screwing up here, or rather that my computer's screwing up here. Oh, excellent. It is working. So that's really good. That's the worst thing ever, is having 2 versions of myself. I'm glad I don't have a twin. So, okay, so he played this opening kind of lackadaisically. I like his move c4. I think that that's a strong move. It's not anything special, obviously, but it's just more of a, like, when you play a move like c3, it's just like, oh, I just want to play this London system, and I don't care at all what you play. I don't care at all about interactions, and I don't care about, like, playing the strongest moves. I just care about getting a position that I kind of know, and hopefully that'll win. I mean, if he plays c3, then, like, if I just do anything stupid here, then he can take here. And then I have a real problem, right? Because b4 is coming, but obviously I don't have to do that. I can just capture here and go d5, and these positions are pretty innocuous. So in any event, it's saying dxc5 now. Might be fine. I don't know. Maybe queen a5 here or something. Might just be able to recoup the pawn immediately. Yeah, I don't know. Bishop e3 maybe. Just queen c7. Yeah, knight c3, a6 maybe. Really? Oh, e5. Yeah, I mean, maybe d6 might be better then, after knight c3. I was kind of worried about this, so I don't like this. Oh. Well, I can just take that. Okay, duh. Okay. Anyway. And once again, if you're just joining us, I'm Josh. I do this close to every day. I don't think I'm going to do this tomorrow, so don't stay tuned for tomorrow. But yeah, I do this, at roughly between 5 and 5:30. Follow me on Twitter. I always post on Twitter a couple minutes before I'm about to go on. But it's generally around 5:30. Today I was home a little bit early from work, so I was actually home on time for work. I actually showed up on time today. So, but yeah, I generally start streaming about 5:30, 5:15, blah blah blah. Anyway, fuck it. All right, so You guys don't give a fuck about that. I probably should just take here and transpose into like a Grunfeld kind of position. That probably would have been better. Then it's like a Panov Botvinnik attack. I actually happen to like these positions for black as well. Something like that. I don't know. It's like a Caro-Kann though. Yeah, I probably should have taken there in retrospect. That would have been a lot smarter. What did I do? I played d6 here, like a weenie. I can also play d5 here. d5 is also a Grunfeld kind of like position. I think queen a5 here or something. I don't know. b3 I thought was weak. I thought that was a weak move. I thought here he should have played knight c3. Yeah, the computer generally does. By the way, guys, I don't generally give too much acknowledgement to the computer. Obviously, the computer's going to find the best moves in tactical kinds of positions, but in positions where it's just positional consideration, I don't really pay too much attention to the computer unless I do something egregious, you know? Like, for example, this move is pretty egregious. The computer really doesn't like it. So he should take here. I would play here. And then on this move, I don't think I had anything planned specifically. Let me take... This is kind of what I want, though, isn't it? Yeah. Hello. In any event. He didn't do that, though. He kind of played... His whole thing is like, I'm just going to play my moves, you know? That's kind of what he's saying here. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Yeah, I'm not going to have... I don't have to listen to you. You're not doing anything important over here on the queen side, even though I had a chance to get a good advantage by, taking the pawn. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So I take on c4. He takes on c4. So here I was thinking d5 or cd4. What did I do? Knight bd7. I'm playing passively. I'm playing these moves that are kind of wishy-washy, waiting moves that are kind of weenie-ish. I'm kind of a weenie for playing these moves. But the computer's saying it's roughly equal. Rook c8 here is kind of a waiting move, kind of like, all right, well, what are you gonna do? Sure, knight c5. I think this position is probably equal, close to equal. Yeah, a5, queen b6. I thought queen b6 was pretty good. Bishop d4, e5. I thought was pretty good. I was pretty happy in this position, actually. I remember thinking like, oh, you're just gonna get squeezed off the board now, so now I should play d5. What did I do instead? h6, really? God damn it. Why the fuck? That's a really stupid move. h6 is just bad because bishop e2. I mean, bishop e2 actually doesn't refute h6. h6 probably isn't that bad. It's just d5 is so strong. You gotta play with... Like, you got a pair of cojones here, Not play like a weenie. Alright, anyhow. So, I played h6, which objectively is probably dubious. Bishop e2, yeah. So now I don't have d5 because he's got knight e4 and or bishop e4. He's on my e5 pawn twice. Maybe I can go e4 here, though. I wonder what happens after e4. Knight c4, sure. Right, and you are on this thing twice, again. Queen d8. Knight d4, the d4 square frees up. And this position actually looked pretty... pleasant for white. I kind of like this position. If I was white, I'd be pretty happy there. So, bishop a8, like an absolute asshole. So what I was thinking of was, I wanted to go knight a4. And then I was thinking he would play, I don't know, some move like here. And I would play here, and he would play here. And then he's got this skewer, which I wasn't necessarily thrilled about. So that's the reason that I played bishop a8, but that's really bad. That's just a really weak move, and it completely ignores my opponent's idea of going... Like, I thought he just did this to get away from... So sometimes, or oftentimes in chess, rather, not sometimes, but oftentimes in chess, your opponent will make a move, and you're kind of like, oh, well, that makes sense. He wants to get away from this threat. But he also has threats of his own, which is that this c4 square is really powerful. In that it hits my d-pawn twice. So if I let him get that, then I'm just losing here. And things are going badly. So I'd let him do that, essentially. I just made this ridiculous move. In the hopes that, like, this is hope chess at its very finest, everybody. So knight c4 is, yeah, it's obvious. I mean, this is a very strong move. Queen b8. Now I just have to hope for complications, right? So complications in this position is Really what I'm aiming at. Bishop f3. What does it think? e4? Yeah, e4 might have been a bit better. But I took with the idea that I'm going to go knight d6 after it's all said and done. Yeah. But anyhow, rook b8. That's obvious. Bishop f3 is pretty obvious. Knight d3, I think, was pretty critical. I missed that he could take this pawn on e5. So that's what I missed after it's all said and done, was that he could take here. I mean, I initially missed this knight c4 attacking my backwards pawn idea and attacking my queen at the same time. So I missed that, so that's really bad. And then I also missed that he's on my e5 pawn twice, which also hits my rook. So despite the fact that I'm going to win his a2 pawn, he's going to win my a7 pawn. So it's kind of like a game of checkers at this point. We just start gobbling things up. Here the computer is saying knight e2 check, which I don't really understand why it's important, why this tempo is important, but you know, like I don't understand why this tempo is important versus like I don't know, maybe it wants to go into an opposite color bishop endgame first. Oh yeah, he has the bishop pair, so I guess that makes sense. Him having the bishop pair versus me not having the bishop pair is generally not what you want to have happen. But anyhow, so knight a2. So he's got the bishop pair here, which is like very dominant. Like I mean, you can see it here. The bishop pair is worth at least a rook, especially in this position where he's just crushing me. Knight c3. So I wanted to go knight b4, but that doesn't work because of this. And then I can just resign and go, you know, jump off a bridge or something. So knight c3. And then, you know, of course, my idea is to go knight b5. Or I've got this e2 check plan if he ever moves, you know, his light-colored bishop off of the defense of the square. Rook c1. Yeah, I mean, knight fe4, sure, that might have been better. You just got to get rid of this bishop pair somehow. You just got to do it. I mean, if he takes here, then I have this check. And then, again, like, you see exactly what I mean here, though. The bishop pair is still worth as much as the rook. Like, if not more, you know. I mean, he's got the extra pawn here. And he literally just escorts this thing up the board. Or escorts this thing up the board with the bishops. I mean, the bishops just, oops. They don't change colors, unfortunately. But the bishops just dominate me. And I don't think I'd be able to defend this, frankly. I mean, the computer's giving it a half-pawn advantage here, but I wouldn't even know where to begin to try and defend this position, just because he's got everything pointed at the squares that I would want to be pointed at if I was him. So knight b5. Yeah, I played really badly here. But this is critical because he gives away the bishop pair. If I was him, I would have played this move, I think. And, like, I don't know. But then he's got this move, right? And he's got the bishop pair. He's got an extra pawn. The knights can certainly make things tricky, and the knights are good defenders against passed pawns, but overall, in this position, if I'm him as white, like, I am very, very happy. But, you know, this just goes to show, I mean, you need to keep fighting, because this guy took, how much time did he take to play that terrible move? He took 4 seconds. I mean, you can't expect to play the best moves in 4 seconds. I don't really care who you are. It's just very difficult to play good moves in that amount of time. And as you can see, I'm taking my time, kind of. I mean, 5 seconds is obviously not what I mean by taking my time. But, you know, I'm looking here to try and play these moves. And so now, I mean, now he's kind of in a bit of a pickle here because, you know, I'm going to blockade this pawn. I'm going to start attacking this pawn. And he's going to have to give something up here. I actually was looking at this, and I thought that this would be okay, though. Is there a reason that this isn't okay? 95? Who cares? Knight b3, yeah. What do I care about that? Rook d1? Is that so bad? I don't know. Really? Knight a5? Put the knight on the rim? That's what it wants me to do. Whoops. Okay, well that was bad. So this move, knight c5, is not the best. It is dubious. But he played passively here at bishop d1. This is when he starts kind of screwing things up. I mean, he had such a good advantage here, and he just took roughly no time to play really subpar moves. Um, Actually, it's kind of amusing. It seems like the more time he took, the worse his moves got, which is, you know, very amusing. He should have just played fast moves the entire game. He would have won. Knight e4 is obvious, right? I want to attack this pawn, and I want to potentially threaten this thing should he move his knight away from the defense of the d2 square. Um, anyway, I'm sorry. I love my chess arrows. Chess arrows make my life complete. See if anybody said anything in chat. Nope. All right. So bishop c2, sure. Bishop f3 is better though. And the reason for that is, like, it just gives him more options. Like, bishop f3 takes bishop d4, or bishop d5, I think, is okay. Right, and then he's got, like, knight e5 ideas here, playing on f7. Eventually he can get this sort of thing going here, and that would be unpleasant for me. You just got to keep making threats. You have to keep putting your pieces on the best squares. And my opponent put his piece on c2, which is kind of biting on the granite of my g6 pawn. There's not really a great future here unless his idea is to do this or something. But I don't think that idea is one that I would be thrilled with. So I didn't think he should take my knight. What did I think he should do instead? I'm not sure what he should do instead, but I don't think taking my knight was the best move. The computer seems to disagree with me and seems to think that taking the knight's the best move, but going into an opposite colored bishop and rook endgame should still be better for him, but it's harder to win, and that's the point. With more pieces on the board, easier it is for you to make a mistake, easier it is for him to win. And I mean, look at the times. I mean, I've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to his 10 minutes. You just keep a knight on the board and keep making threats. Eventually, I'm going to screw up. I mean, it's only natural. I only have 2.5 minutes, So anyway, because this makes it easy, this makes it so that I don't have to think about my moves that much, like I don't have to. It doesn't take a whole hell of a lot of brain power to see, like, oh, like the bishops go, like he can only cover 32 squares with his bishop, and I can only cover 32 squares with my bishop, right? Like with the knights, it's like, oh fuck, well the knight can get to every square on the board. Now I have to calculate, like, if I go here, like if he played knight e5, I can't play king f8, right? Because knight d7 check. So that's something I have to calculate, and that takes a second or two, And then it's like, oh well, if I miss that, then I just lose the game essentially, and that's the sort of mistakes you want to try and force your opponent to make. So now I can go back and blockade, and I can move my rook away, and all of a sudden, I'm making threats, and he's not making threats, and he's not winning anymore. You know what I mean? So like I've got my rook on the second, and when that happens, like I can start making threats against his f2 pawn, and he's gonna have to start defending this in a really awkward way, and suddenly it's not clear to me that he's any better here, is the point. King e7 might not have been best. Well, actually, king f6 might not have been best. Really? The computer's suggesting that I give up this pawn. Oh, right, because check. Duh. Hello. Alright, so I missed that, and I was thinking, oh, I need to defend my pawn. But this ties my king to the defense of this f7 pawn, which is not really fantastic, because now should he decide to go h4 and g5, I can't take that, I mean, I could take that, I guess. I guess we would just be trading pawns, but still. All right, anyhow. So now, obviously, I take this, because, yeah, here he should play the king. That's pretty obvious. And the reason is that now I'm still tied to the defense of my f7 pawn. All right, I was actually looking at this. But I thought he might do this maybe or something. I don't know. Let's just see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's still a draw. The computer's giving an advantage here, but I don't think that anybody's going to be able to win this game, honestly. So the idea here in these opposite-colored bishop endgames is to put your pieces on squares that the bishop can't attack, which seems pretty obvious. F3 is a very bad move, just for the record. Just FYI, everybody. F3 is a stupid move, because now I penetrate with my king, and he can't make any progress. And that's, Not great for obvious reasons. I don't know why he didn't play here. Like, I don't know what he thought would happen. King c3 check, but so what? King e2. Well, maybe bishop e3, though. Yeah, we just move back and forth forever, essentially. This is just a draw, but um, this move I don't think is good because I just get more penetration into his position, and he's going to have to start defending more of his shit, and that's generally what I want to have and what he doesn't want to have me have. So yeah, we literally could just move around here for hours. In this position, I can also play bishop e1 and force him to make a trade here, and then just go back. You know, like he's stuck here. You see what I mean? He's got, as long as my king is on this square, which it will remain to be just about forever. Like I just need to get to the e1 square, and then he can't ever break out of his little pawn prison here, which is amusing. I could actually even let the pawn get to b7 as long as I keep the bishop on a7 and keep his king here, and he can't make any progress. Hey, look, I made an arrow. Let's make more of an arrow. Yay! Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's fine. Whatever. I just go to e1 and force in the trade, and then we just make a draw here because I could spend time doing this probably close to all day. I mean, if he goes bishop c4, I go king e1, and again, he doesn't make any progress here, right? Because I have these critical squares taken away from him. So he can make next to no progress, and I can move like this. I can pre-move that and do that in probably under a second. I would probably lose a second every time, but eventually we would hit a repetition, and I would just keep hitting the draw button, and we would just make a draw. So he realized that, and he was a gentleman about it. I mean, he wasn't too much of a douche about it. Or he wasn't a douche about it. So, we agreed to a draw here. Again, not a great game on my part. My play is kind of careless. I was ignoring what my opponent was doing. But, you live and you learn. I was lucky to escape with a draw there. But, yeah. So, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. 1v1 you. Yeah, sure, man. What's your rating? Actually, I can't right now. But, yeah. I mean, if you want to play sometime, I'm always down. I'm always down to play. Blitz. I prefer to play on ICC, but I'm also on chess.com. But, be sure to follow me, get all the latest updates. And I appreciate everybody joining us, me and my dog, and this guy Alligator, I guess, unknowingly to him. But, all right, well, thank you, everybody. And I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will probably be streaming on Saturday. So just, follow the Twitter and look for it there. And I hope everybody has a great Thursday and a good Friday. So thanks again.